Who had a massive brain fart last night? Usually I would say WWE Creative, but not this time. It's time for WGS-TV Reviews, Monday Night Raw for the week of February 5th, 2018. Hey YouTube, are you ready for your hot tag? Because if you are, it's definitely time to work.
This is Sean Crow, watching WGS-TV.
I'm the WrestleGamer. Welcome back to another episode of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer. Joining me on the Raw review this week, ladies and gentlemen, first off, you know him as the resident music mogul over on YouTube.com/LanceMossTV, the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Just finished a cup of coffee, so I'm doing really good.
And the CEO of Hardcore Wrestling Radio is here. Be sure you go on Facebook.com/group/HWR chat room. Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Head. Rick, how you doing?
You know, I'm doing all right. Last week I put on an Aleister Black wallpaper. So if you guys are Aleister Black marks, come on over to the HWR chat room and check it out. I am also working on a Shinsuke Nakamura wallpaper as we speak.
Hard to believe we're already in the month of February. Wow, guys. But just as a personal favor to me, guys, don't remind me of the crap holiday of Valentine's Day. Let's just say I don't like it because it's a holiday meant for couples and not single people. But enough about my personal disdain for a holiday that was created by Hallmark. Let's talk about Raw. The opening match was an Elimination Chamber qualifying match with Roman Reigns taking on Bray Wyatt. Now, these two have had some great matches in the past, so they have good chemistry with each other. The only problem is that you can kind of sniff out WWE's agenda and how they like to shove Roman Reigns down our collective throats. Now, I'm not going to boo or hate on Reigns for it because it's WWE Creative that's pulling the strings for that, but the YWC, Rick, just tends to throw logic out the window when it comes to blind hatred of someone.
Well, again, you know, fans are going to like who they like and they're going to hate who they're going to hate, but I don't think this really had anything to do with WWE shoving Roman Reigns out the road. I think the ulterior motive was really the Bray Wyatt, Mark Henry shit of a fucking feud.
You mean Matt Hardy?
Matt Hardy, yeah, Matt Hardy. I'm sorry, I'm mistaken the creative wrestler for the one who really is just riding on his brother's coattails, that one being Matt Hardy.
Because that's what he do, and Lord knows we're probably going to get some comments like, you're not a real wrestling fan if you don't hate Roman Reigns. Anyway, back to the match. It was a solid match, but you can also tell WWE, well, just like Rick has already said, they're pushing the Wyatt Hardy angle, because he was not only mentioned, but shown several times during this match. The finish of the match was Reigns hitting the spear on Wyatt to pick up the win, and after the match was over, Hardy appeared in the ring to deliver a twist of fate to Wyatt. Personal opinion? I just wish WWE wasn't so transparent with their angles, Lance, but it was still a nice way to open up Raw.
Oh, definitely. A match like that was worked like this, I approve. Granted, you could like, oh hell, Roman's going to get put over by Bray, but it was a well done match.
Yep, I'm going to score it a 3 out of 5. Backstage, Seth Rollins came in to check on his partner Jason Jordan, as it would be revealed that their tag team title rematch with The Bar would be their last chance, and wanted to make sure that he was 100% and ready to go. Jordan reassured Rollins that he was cleared by medical and good to go. Up next, it was originally supposed to be Dash Wilder taking on Finn Balor, but it was changed into a tag team match due to the promo by the Revival that they were tag team specialists and wanted to show the Balor Club how it was done. So Balor chose Karl Anderson to be his partner. Overall, the match really wasn't bad, but I'm still left wondering on some of WWE's booking decisions, because we know how good the Revival is. We saw it in NXT. But I guess the Vince's bias towards NXT is showing again. The finish of the match was Balor hitting the coup de grace on Dawson to pick up the win. Personal opinion? Rick, why is WWE just poo-pooing all over the Revival?
Well, you know, we've seen that happen before. If you guys remember the Ascension, when they were down in NXT, they were dominating, then now they're kind of looking like a joke. As far as the Revival, again, you know, it's one of those situations when you come up, you know, it's either a hit or miss. But you know, Finn Balor and, you know, the Balor Club, you know, that are better known as the Bullet Club over in New Japan and other promotions. So obviously they have the popularity. So that's clearly who the WWE is pushing. It's not really who they're jobbing, it's who they're pushing, and that's the way you got to look at it.
I'm going to go 2.95 out of 5 on that one. Backstage, Sasha Banks was rewatching her match from last week when Bayley showed up to talk to her, and from the way the conversation went, Lance, you kind of get the feeling Banks is going heel again.
Well, to be honest, I think she works better heel because being the whole boss thing, to me, that makes she works better heel.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, but I guess only time will tell us to what we see what they do with her. Up next, the Cruiserweights were in a tag team match as Mustafa Ali teamed up with Cedric Alexander to take on the former members of the Zo Train, Tony Nese and Drew Gulak. The man formerly known as Rockstar Spud, now known as Drake Maverick, who is now the current GM of 205 Live, was on commentary to talk about the Cruiserweight Championship tournament and even bringing up some people to be in the tournament. And one name mentioned was Roderick Strong. I wonder who else we will see in this tournament. I might even start watching and talking about 205 Live on the channel. Now, as for the overall match, for what it was good. The finish of the match was the lumbar check. It was Cedric Alexander hitting the lumbar check on Gulak to pick up the win. Personal opinion, Rick, I thought Maverick was good on commentary and really put over the Cruiserweight Championship tournament really well.
Well, you know what? I'm still gonna call him Spud, but you know that was one of his better, you know, things. He really, unfortunately, he's too small to be, he's really in that size where he doesn't fit in any real area. 205 Live as a wrestler, maybe, but again, he's got that mouthpiece. Over in Impact, he was the antagonizer, so he was great at that. He is entertaining on that level, so I think it was a smart idea. As to who they're going to put in for the for this tournament, I would definitely say Cedric Alexander is probably a strong person who could possibly even win. Drew Gulak, I have to admit, I'm starting to kind of like him because he has that kind of annoying personality that all you can do is laugh at. So I would definitely put him in there as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and score the match a 3.15 out of 5. Up next, Kurt Angle was to announce the participants of the Women's Elimination Chamber match, other than Alexa Bliss, who was to defend the championship in said match. It was Bayley, Mandy Rose, Mickie James, Sonya Deville, and Sasha Banks. Alexa came out to proclaim her disapproval with the decision and demanded a reason as to why she had to defend her title, and the Universal Champion Brock Lesnar wasn't defending his title in the Men's Elimination Chamber. Angle then threw it to the fans and asked them if they wanted to see the match, and like the sheeple that they are sometimes, they chanted yes, much to the dismay of the Raw Women's Champion. Personal opinion, Lance, did Kurt Angle have a nip of something before going out there last night?
Probably not, but he did shut Alexa down pretty good.
Well, yeah.
When she said, "Oh, why does Brock and I don't? You hadn't defended your title since October, Alexa."
Yep, that was a good point, but again, I've seen Kurt Angle cut great promos in the past, and I've never honestly seen him freeze up on a promo like that before.
Well, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. When you hear things like that, it's not unheard of. And again, he has had a lot of neurological problems with neck injuries and concussions. So every now and then to kind of lose your space for a second, that happens to me more than once. I have epilepsy, so I get that. I really, honestly, I think it was a little minor. Oops, and that was it.
Yeah, but it was still a good promo. I'm going to go 3 out of 5 on that one. Up next, it was the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka, taking on Bayley. For those of you who don't remember, Bayley was the person Asuka defeated to win her NXT Women's Championship, which started her over 500-plus day reign as champion. Now, would this match be as good as their matches from NXT? In a sense, it was right up there. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I love watching Asuka work in the ring. Not only is she hot, but she's a talented worker. Same could be said for Bayley because she's a great worker too. Also want to mention here that Angle would also announce a match for Asuka at the Elimination Chamber as she'll take on Nia Jax, and if Nia wins, she's in the Raw Women's Championship match at WrestleMania, which begs the question of why this decision was made. The finish of the match was Asuka locking on the cross Armbreaker on Bayley to pick up the win. And after the match, both women shook hands out of respect. Personal opinion, Rick, Asuka and Bayley get better and better every time I see them, but I'm still left wondering why this decision of Nia Jax versus Asuka was made.
Well, you know, right now, I think that, you know, we've seen Asuka face a lot of people. Again, 500 days, you know, and just undefeated. I think the Nia Jax, they want to have the question, maybe, just maybe. But I hate to say it, I don't see it happening. I really want to see, you know, they're going to push Asuka all the way to win WrestleMania. And for me, it's just like, why? You know, I mean, they might. I mean, I understand the stip, but I think I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference.
Lance, do you think we're starting to see the Asuka on from NXT now on Monday Night Raw?
No, because the Asuka from NXT worked a lot stiffer.
Definitely, but the match was still good. I'm going to give it a 3.25 out of 5. Up next, it was The Miz taking on Apollo Crews in an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. First off, Miz would cut a great promo before the match about the Elimination Chamber and going on to WrestleMania for the Universal Championship. Curtis Axel was not present this week, and Corey Graves passed it off as Axel auditioning for the role of an extra or something like that. I didn't realize you had to audition to do nothing on a set. But anyway, I kind of figured that Crews wouldn't go over in this match, because if he would have, not only would he have qualified for the Elimination Chamber, but he would also been afforded an Intercontinental Championship match for getting the win over said champion in a non-title match. Again, this is WWE being transparent with their build-ups and angles. The finish of the match was Miz hitting the skull-crushing finale on Crews to pick up the win. Personal opinion, Miz's promo was great, match was okay in my book, and Crews is still talented, Lance, because I've always said it takes more than one person to have a good match.
Oh, definitely. It's definitely a dance in there. It's a very physical dance, but you got to have somebody to work with. But yeah, Miz going over on him is, I mean, Stevie Wonder could have saw this one coming.
Yep, I'm going to score the match a 3 out of 5. Backstage, Seth Rollins would find Jason Jordan with Kurt Angle on the medical staff. Jordan came up with some ad hoc excuse that he felt something pulling in his neck, and medical wouldn't clear him for the rematch. Angle was about to declare the match forfeit until Roman Reigns showed up and Angle allowed the replacement. And obviously, being the heels, the Bar were not happy over the match, but still the match would go on. Now, about halfway through the match, out would come Jason Jordan to the ring, and you just knew right there in some way he was going to screw up and cost them the titles. After being overwhelmed by Rollins, the Bar scooped up the titles and attempted to make a hasty retreat, but they were blocked by Jordan. Cesaro threw a punch, which Jordan blocked and responded accordingly with his own right hand in view of the referee, which forced him to call for the bell and disqualify Reigns and Rollins. Personal opinion, Rick, I've heard reports of Jordan working hurt, so I'm not really surprised that they didn't have him in the match taking bumps.
Well, you know, that's interesting that you said that, because Jordan's wife, she did come forward and she said, you know what, he is hurt, but it's a minor neck injury, and that he is taking a little bit of time off from the ring, but it's not as severe, because they were rumors last week were stating that he had severe neck injuries and he might need surgery, and that, you know, he's been little losing his grip during matches. So, and, you know, the wife just came forward and said, you know what, that's a crock of shit.
And you know what, also from a storyline perspective, I see WWE building up a feud that turns either Rollins or Jordan heel. The real question is, which one turns? And
I don't think that's a question. I think it's kind of the obvious. You're going to see Jordan do that, because Jordan's going to, you know, he's already on that pouting. He's already doing the little heel trips and this and that. I think they had to take the titles away, so we could see Jordan finally pull a temper tantrum, And you know what? We might even see Daddy versus Son at WrestleMania. I think this is what the book ended up to.
It's very possible. I'm going to give the match a 3 out of 5. Up next, Nia Jax would squash a jobber and then cut a promo on Asuka in their match for the Elimination Chamber. Slight issue with one thing she said about Asuka never beating her. Asuka's beaten her by referee stoppage on Raw and defeated Nia to retain the NXT Women's Championship. I don't know about you guys, but I think that qualifies as beating her. Nia calling her the Empress of Yesterday as a play on her name being the Empress of Tomorrow. Not really creative, because I thought of it before she said it. Personal opinion, Lance, squash match with a less than stellar promo. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, who the hell is... we got a job going on.
Yeah, I pretty much did the same thing. I'm like, Nia Jax versus Jobber, guess who wins? And that was before the match even started. I'm like, it was no brain check. But again, I think that was just a segue into her promo.
Yeah, and that promo wasn't real good to begin with either.
Like I said, I thought it was all right. And like, once you said the Empress of Tomorrow, you knew it was coming again. But like I said, I am a fan of Nia Jax. I think she, for a woman her size, can move. She's a very attractive woman, despite her size, and she can work. So,
I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5. The main event was a triple threat match with John Cena taking on Braun Strowman and Elias. And of course, Elias would start first with one of his usual songs I usually tune out, so I won't go into great detail, because it's always just him getting heat from the crowd. I did pick up on something, though, about them replaying the footage of Elias attacking Cena and smashing the guitar on his back. I'll expand on that in a minute, though. Cena and Elias briefly worked together to take down Strowman, Elias using the guitar on him, which set up Cena hitting the AA on the steel steps to the outside. That was far as the alliance went, but it wouldn't be the last time we saw Strowman in the match, because he played a role in how the finish of the match went. Strowman power-slammed Cena and would attempt to do the same to Elias, but he struggled free, pushed Strowman out of the ring to the floor, and pinned Cena to pick up the win. Did I forget to mention that the winner of this match enters the Elimination Chamber match last? For some reason, I think Elias might be the first elimination in the match, but I'll save that for another video. Personal opinion? You can view WWE playing the footage again as a sort of backdoor build in a way. However, the show would end with Power Slam Mania running wild as Strowman Power Slammed both Cena and Elias over and over to end the show, and for some reason, Lance, fans eat this up.
Well, I mean, let's face it, Johnny Boy himself is 50-50 with the crowd, and seeing him get the hell beat out of him, they like, and Elias can be a prick, so him getting power slammed, it's basically just your basic pandering.
If I want to cut in there and I want to make a point, a lot of people, including myself, is really starting to get behind Elias.
Yeah.
Elias, I don't know, Billy, like you said, you tuned it out, but the fans were marking the shit out for him.
Yeah.
And he's now has his new moniker. It goes, the WWE means walk with Elias, and the fans was eating it up. And you may not like his music, but you got as a guitar player, I have to admit the man has some talent.
Yeah.
In ring, I have always said this guy has it. This guy is a great, great wrestler, and the fact that Cena even gave him props, and the fact that he won the triple threat, that says a lot. Do I see him going on to WrestleMania or being, winning the title? I don't know. It's questionable, but doubtful.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm going to score the match at 3.5 out of 5. Time for overall score and thoughts. Before I get into the overall score and thoughts, I just want to mention that next week WWE is having a last chance fatal 4-way with Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy, Apollo Crews, and Finn Balor. And I have to say, if Balor does not go over next week, I will be shocked to say the least. WWE didn't beat around the bush with their match structure on Raw this week, and there was only one real in-ring segment that whole show, and that was Kurt Angle's announcement of the Women's Elimination Chamber match, which still leaves me wondering what happened to him to cause the brain fart that he had. I'm pretty sure he got an earful backstage from someone, but I do have to say, a decent show. Overall score of Raw this week, it's a 3 out of 5, with best match of the night going to Asuka versus Bayley. Yes, I'm biased, but it's my reveal. Deal with it. And worst segment of the night, it's got to be Angle's brain fart, because if I don't mention it, someone else will. Rick, what's your overall score and thoughts on Raw this week?
3 out of 5, 3.5 out of 5 is definitely a good solid number. There were a lot of great pay-per-view quality matches in there. The Kurt Angle gimmick, spot, whatever. We've seen even Stephanie, done it. We've seen Triple H kind of trip a couple of times. It's not the first time. It's not the last time we're going to see a wrestler or, whoever, take that half second, oops. So, I kind of gave him a pass on that.
Okay. And Lance, over to you. What's your overall score on thoughts on Raw this week?
Well, overall, I'll give it about a 3 out of 5. And best match, I'll give it to Bray versus Roman. And for me, best segment is when Alexa Bliss kind of pulled Mickie James out of the ring. It looked like we were going to see a little bit of HLA action now.
You know what? Actually, that's a question we don't think we addressed. What is behind that?
I do. HLA.
Well, if you think about it, it's kind of the heel trying to pander up to the other members in the match to work in her favor, because this wasn't the first time we've seen something like that. If you think back to when they had the women's Money in the Bank ladder match on SmackDown Live, what was the one thing Natalya was trying to do with her being the heel was make friends with the other members in the match to work to her favor. So I wouldn't be surprised to see WWE actually pulling something like that. And I do apologize for not bringing up that match between Mickie James and Sonya Deville, but it was just that memorable that I forgot to mention it here in the review. But again, it's not the first time I've seen that happen. But anyway, guys, that's been our thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week. What I want to know from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on Monday Night Raw. What are your overall scores? What are your thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week? Definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. You should put your comments in the comments section below. If you guys like this video, be sure you slam that like button. Like it, champ. Rick, where can fans check you out on HWR?
Well, as we said before, guys, we are over in the group sections on Facebook under HWR chat room. If you can't find us that way, or if you're groups, you don't know what the hell's going on, hashtag HWR chat room, you'll find us.
And Lance, what can fans expect to see when they come visit your channel over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV?
Well, I need to start getting back into making videos, but every Wednesday night I go live on Lance Moss TV and Friends. It's basically me and a bunch of my friends just shooting the shit for about 2 hours. So yeah. And you can also find me on Twitter. It's at LanceMossTV.
And if you guys want to see more wrestling talk with awesome gameplays, you know the 2 ways you got to do it. You got to leg drop the subscribe button and ring that bell to turn on notifications so that way you guys will never miss out on another video right here on my channel. So with my thanks to Rick Head and Lance Moss, I am your friendly neighborhood wrestling gamer reminding all of you guys out there to stay awesome. Bye, guys.